Okie dokie. Let's play one more. One more practice run here. First of all, I gotta play my pump up music. I gotta play my pump up music. Let's give it that light. Let's pump it up. Pump it up. Oh, except yeah. One more practice run here. Where is it? This is how we get going here. Little JD hit it hard, man. Alright, US, Japan, UK, then US again. No holding back. Let's do this. I hit it hard. Good times. Okay, let's focus on the game. Let's focus on the game, Mark. All right. Let's do it like this. God, why is my computer being a bitch? Oh, that's gonna play. That's gonna play just fine. That'll be just fine. All right, what is the deal? Why is my computer being a dick? What do I got to close down? Let's close that down. Maybe a restart could be in order before we do this tomorrow, but whatever. No excuses. Let's go. Let's just hit it hard. There we go. There we go. Wind is a problem. Let's listen to a podcast or something. Sitting here in dead silence like an idiot. KOC. Let's do KOC.
Today in the show, we're revealing my NBA awards ballot with Tom Haverstrom.
Wind looks like it's directly in my face, but it never really plays that way. I think you got to play it a little bit right to left or left to right.
Take a minute to tell you all how you can be using TurboTax to file your taxes this tax season. They're done for you tax
Wind is severe.
Make filing taxes easier than ever.
What? See, what is the deal? My computer is glitching.
File and get your taxes done for you, so you can have more time.
It's got to be precise.
That you love doing, like listening
to whatever.
Interviews, discussions.
I might make this. This might be a dead straight putt. I have no idea. But it's not.
Make sure you file by April 15th with our friends at TurboTax.
We should just do a little test out.
Today we're revealing our NBA awards ballots, and we're going to talk about the
Didn't glitch on that one. That's exactly what I wanted, except it's fading a little bit.
What up, Tom?
That'll play.
What's going on, KOC? Let's get to Thursday before we reveal our awards, Tom, because the NBA standings continue to remain absolutely crazy after Minnesota beat Memphis on Thursday.
Didn't mean to cut that quite so much. That'll play.
Huge game.
That'll play.
Anthony Edwards, he could not be stopped. Zach Edey got shredded, got into foul trouble early. Anthony Edwards
Didn't mean to fade it. Why are we fading it? That was a slow.
19 from the field, 44 points in the game for Minnesota. And now, for Minnesota, Tom, there's the chance.
45-degree rule in play. Why is it glitching? What the fuck? Why is the streaming such a difficult thing?
Still early at this point, but there's a chance Minnesota could end up with the 4 seed.
Yeah, this is a crazy finish. The playoffs have already started. Like, as far as I'm concerned, Kev, like, the playoffs are already here. Because look at these standings. When you're talking about the Lakers, pretty much sealed the
This could be
number
pretty good.
3 slot. Houston has number 2. But basically, Denver can be anywhere from 3 to 8. Clippers can be anywhere from 4
Now we're
to
talking.
8. The Warriors can be anywhere from
It's all
3
about
to
the
8.
experience.
Memphis,
Just having to play these holes, just knowing how they work.
like, basically nothing has been clinched yet in this big logjam here. See, Kev, like, you look at these standings with Minnesota at number 8, they actually might have the inside track at number 4.
Man, I'm good when it doesn't glitch, I'm telling you.
Schedule is against Brooklyn and Utah, both at home, and that's a godsend for them because the other teams.
This wind
on
is
this
brutal,
list,
though.
when you're looking at the standings, they're kind of playing against each other. They're going to be in this like Royal Rumble bloodbath against each other, whereas Minnesota can finish this easy breezy at 2-0 and end up with a home court advantage in the first
That's
round.
way too
They're
far.
at 8 right here. So going to the other teams, Memphis, they finished out the season
Holy
at
shnikes.
Denver against Dallas.
This might not be that
Same
bad,
at
though.
Portland against the Clippers. Clippers, they're at
We
Sacramento.
can gauge the
and at
pace
Golden
here.
State. Denver, they play Memphis, and then at Houston. Lakers, they play Houston.
Too hard. Holy shit.
So low key, Portland has like 2 spoilers that they could play here to finish out the season. I can't wait to watch those. And then Kev, the question becomes, Houston, do they want to play,
Too hard.
potentially the Memphis Grizzlies or the Denver Nuggets? And they can kind of decide how this plays out because they're playing against Denver. They're hosting Denver in that final game. So
Took that one. That was a little tentative. Man, that was a dumb bogey. I'm still not really sure what happened.
You let them win. You let them win. You let Denver win that game. That's what I think. You let Denver win that game. You rest your guys. Let Denver hopefully get the 4 seed, and you face whoever ends up in that 7th slot. That's what I think. I don't think you want the chance of Jokic there. And also, by the way, I think Denver is gonna win out this season. That's just my prediction. I think they're gonna end up at 4. I think they're gonna beat Memphis on Friday night. I think they're gonna beat a resting Houston team on the final day of the regular season, and they're gonna clinch the 4 seed. That's my gut feeling there. I think so. I think for Minnesota and a lot of these teams, it's more of a fight.
Get down. God, the wind is just out of control. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm getting so unlucky here.
Warriors game on the final day of the regular season could be the biggest bloodbath game, the biggest playoff-esque game of all of these ones we're talking about, because that could be the team that wins that game will be out of the play-in, and the team that loses
That was a pretty good try.
might be the 8th seed,
Need just a little more juice.
Like, it could get absolutely nuts these final couple days of the regular season. Like you said, Tom, it's already the playoffs. It already is the playoffs. And it makes me even more excited for the West playoffs when we're seeing kind of the way these games are going this week, because
Yeah.
every series
This is gonna be good.
It doesn't matter who
Too
gets
much.
the
Darn it.
end.
Yeah, and also, I
Give me a putt, yeah.
Gamesmanship on Sunday. Again, one of the things we talked about last week about how
All right.
you're talking to the NBA.
That was a break.
Has created like an all-day, like the Sunday.
Oh boy, look at this
Every
wind.
team is playing on Sunday. There's no games on Saturday. Every team plays on Sunday in 2 time slots. It's gonna be awesome. I love this. It's going right up against the
There we
Masters.
go.
Who cares? It's gonna be great. Any NBA fan, the Venn diagram of Masters fans.
There we go.
NBA fans, I'm sorry if you gotta pick and choose. I don't know if it's that much of an overlap.
Is there
but I'll
any
tell you
chance I
this,
can get this here?
It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm locked in for the Blazers broadcast on Sunday against the Lakers, and I'm
Give it a
curious
shot.
to see what they do. Are they gonna rest Luka and LeBron and try to get them some extra, juice going into the postseason, or are they trying to say like, hey,
Hook
we
is a
only have
problem.
so many games with JJ Redick, Luka, Austin Reeves, and LeBron. We got to get as many reps with these guys as possible.
Yes, exactly. And in the East,
try
Indiana
this out.
beat Cleveland on Thursday night. Another good win for them. They've won 6 in a row. They have a chance to get the 3 seed.
Oh no, I peened the crap out of it.
Currently, it's the Knicks, Pistons, Pacers, Bucks. Which matchup would you rather see there, Tom? You want Pacers to face the Bucks, or Pacers to face the Pistons, and vice versa with the other teams?
There's no wrong answers here, but I'll go with Milwaukee against Indiana. Just
Too
because
hard.
they beat them
I'm just
so
not very good at
last
that.
year, and I think there's still.
That's why we're practicing though.
Remember the Tyrese Halliburton weird tunnel story from a couple years back? Like, I do think there's a lot of kind of bad blood between these two teams, and so I would love in Indiana mode.
I'd be heavily in favor of that as well. And one other thing I want to talk about from this week, Tom,
Bad play.
Jokic. They fire Michael Malone. They fire Calvin Booth, which we talked about earlier in the week on the podcast. And then they beat the Kings. And Jokic doesn't have nearly as many touches as he does normally in that game. The ball is, being distributed even more than it already is. And then after the game, Jokic, microphone on his face, he says, "People say that we were vulnerable, but the beast is always the most dangerous when they're vulnerable. Maybe he woke up the beast." Do you think there's any chance that actually happened?
Man, I was kind of wondering if Jokic was standing behind the Cronkies here, because Josh Kroenke making the call to fire both Mike Malone and say, Calvin Booth, pack your bags. And I was curious to see what kind of Jokic we'd see in this game. And you're right. The touches were way down. He was averaging about 105, 106 touches per game for the season. And in that game against Sacramento, it was only 88. It was like 88 touches. So he was down like 20 touches in the game. His time of possession was down about 33%. And so part of me feels like that was very intentional. And maybe you read into it and say Jokic wanted less of scoring responsibility, less having to do everything offensively, having the energy to defend at a high level at the nail, basically
Boom.
pick and rolls, being able to collapse and
Did I
get
have that
back
aimed
on
over there, really?
rotations and defend the
A little
rim.
close to that tree. That's okay, though.
Thing about Jokic's season, why in my book, teaser alert, I have Shea winning MVP because defensively Jokic has had a tough year, especially at the rim, where he's just red carpet, matador at the rim, because he just doesn't have the energy to be a rim protector. And so I'm reading this quote, and I'm like, I'm wondering if Jokic is standing behind the decision to clean house. And based on this quote, it's very clear that he has a little bit more optimistic outlook on the season going forward. And that this is a change
3-3-3.
needed to happen. Because I kind of feel like, Kev, if he was against firing Michael Malone and Calvin Booth, I don't think he would have this vulnerable beast line. But he's kind of cribbing the quote from Josh Kroenke to make it seem like, wait a
Let's
minute,
try high.
I'm
See if
not
that
saying
takes something
Jokic
off
is
it.
behind the whole firing, but it seems like he is supporting the decision.
Didn't hit it
and
full.
They might have woken up the beast.
I think
But this one is not a 45-degree sitch. I don't think. But we're going to... I don't know. This one's a weird one.
And that's true.
Look at that. That one breaks opposite. Haha, this was a total glitch.
Jokic gave that's fine. That maybe Kroenke doesn't do.
Then coming down, it's up X.
Not use Malone.
That one breaks opposite.
I don't think there was necessarily a lot of pushback, and that's because Jokic has won a championship, and he's seen what it's like when the team is clicking on all cylinders. He's seen what it's like when chemistry is good, and he's seen that dissolve. As I said on the podcast earlier,
I still don't really have that one aimed how I think it is. That's really good though. It's supposed to be a little further back.
Talking to a lower level front office member, and Booth and Malone would be in the corner, like, what are they talking about? Are they? Is there conspiring against me? Like what's going on? There wasn't any trust between the front office members and the coaching staff members, and so I'm
Should be pretty good.
He sees all that, and he's like, this isn't championship culture. And remember the quote he had about a month ago, or maybe a month and a half ago? They had their little winning streak, and then it was a tough game. And he's like, well, maybe we're not as good as we thought we were. Like he's always been pretty honest and forward this season. And
this whole just a big bastard.
A few weeks ago, how I show the team film where they're like, coach, you're tripping, and he's basically saying, I've lost the locker room. Like translation, I've lost the locker room. People are not.
Get away from the OB. What the hell? Jesus. I was just having trouble with the aiming.
I think it was the right decision, despite it being so late in the season.
What does the driver do? Let's just try.
Michael Malone.
What's the driver do out of this?
Battleman has always been their offensive coordinator.
It does fine.
Used to be a head coach, always been highly respected.
Oh, come on. Get in the fairway.
It's worth the gamble here, considering the lack of chemistry that Malone and Booth had together. You can't have that lack of continuity, that lack of connectedness, I need to say, between your front office and coaching staff and ownership. So it was the right move for Denver, as we talked about earlier in the week. Let's talk about awards, though. You mentioned that you have SGA over Jokic.
God, I just cannot aim. My aiming sucks.
one hand, you have Jokic having an all-time season. 30 points, 13 boards, 10 assists, absurd levels of efficiency. And the diversity of his offense is remarkable. Low and high posts, off-ball cuts. He's one of the NBA's best three-point shooters.
Boom!
Lobs, drives, handoffs, when you look at the synergy data for all of those play types, he's just amazing. Everybody knows that. It's another all-time great season by one of the greatest offensive talents the league has ever seen. But he was not at the same level defensively, in part because of this massive offensive load and responsibility he had. The Nuggets had a bottom 10 defensive rating, and Jokic is in part to blame for that as one of the 5 on defense. And you could say, well, he's dragged them to almost 50 wins. Murray's had a down year. Gordon's missed 30 games. And this is all during a season where they fire their coach, they fire their GM.
There we go. We finally hit this fairway.
There hasn't been any chemistry. Coach lost the locker room. They'd be in hell without Jokic, and that's a good argument for him as the MVP. However, you need to look at the other side of this here, of course, because there's SGA. By far the best player on by far the best team, 33-5-4 on incredible efficiency for a guard. Of the players historically to average over 32 points, over 5 assists, over 60% true.
Come on, get in there.
Plus over 2 steals and blocks combined per game. Michael Jordan did it twice. James Harden did it. Jordan did it 3 times. Harden did it.
Pretty weak.
And none of those teams by Jordan or Harden had won over 55 games. And that's in part because of SGA. They have 66 wins right now with a chance to get to 68, despite Chet playing just over 30 games, despite Hartenstein playing under 60 games. The Thunder had a plus 26.7.
That's pretty muscly. Get in that fairway.
Without Chet Holmgren, without
Hell yeah.
Hartenstein, and without Jalen Williams. So even without their second best player and their 2 bigs, they
This should be
pushed
perfect.
for nearly 70 wins with SGA. They were dominant without
This should be
those
perfect.
other guys on the floor. Without them, with only SGA out there, they're incredible.
Hell yeah. Go in the hole.
Average without him, and that's partially because of his defense. Jokic,
That was not close to going in the hole, but it was a very good shot.
He wasn't the weakest despite his massive offensive load. He was an excellent defender. A block per game, almost 2 steals per game, aggressiveness, awareness, communicating. He helped set a tone for that team. So I think the argument is incredibly strong for both. I wouldn't knock anybody for picking Jokic, but because one player dragged his team to 50 wins despite everything, and one player was the best player on the best team, both having awesome seasons. But my vote goes to SGA.
Me too. I mean, you just laid it out perfectly. The 2-way play of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander sealing the award for him in my book. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the best shot blockers.
Thought it was going to go over, but I wasn't sure.
21st in the NBA in blocks. He's got more blocks this season than Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jared Allen, and Draymond Green. I'm going to repeat that. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's a guard, who's the head of the snake offensively for them.
Ay, ay, ay. That's a dicey method. For some reason, I can't quite pull that off.
How's that possible?
Now we got Bogey out of the deal.
How's that possible?
Because he's that talented. He's that talented. He's that
I don't know. I might have to abandon the whole aggressive 4-iron, 5-iron bullshit. It's killing me.
Using this 6'6" dude, super strong, super smart, well-disciplined, the way they play both ends of the floor, it's kind of a symbiotic relationship between me and the
Well, that is
coach.
bad. That's going in the water.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the consistency is outrageous.
Should have done something else.
In scoring by a mile, but more importantly,
Man, what is the deal?
he's had 72
Very weak
straight
sauce.
games with at least 20
Last try
points.
here.
You know how crazy that is? That's more than anybody in the NBA, and it is 4th all time behind Wilt and Oscar. So Wilt has done it twice, where he's had 126 games of 20 plus. Wilt Chamberlain also did it again, 92. Oscar had 79, and then tied for 4th all time. As of this recording, he is tied for 4th all time at 72, tied with Kevin Durant and Michael Jordan. 72 straight games with 20 plus. He's top 21 in blocks. He's top 2 in steals. This guy is basically 50, 40, 90. If he wasn't, he is at 38% three-point shooting. There's an argument to be made for Nikola Jokic offensively as the best player on the planet, and I think he is the best offensive player on the planet.
Get up there.
Behind him, you can say
Oh,
Shai
my goodness.
Gilgeous-Alexander, you can say Luka Doncic, but in
Brutal.
All-around game. No one checks off more boxes than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This is the best defense we've seen in a very long time, and he's a big part of it. You can't say the same for Jokic.
You know, I think that's spot on, Tom. I mean, look, I'm not gonna.
Not good. I'm having a real rough round here. Really unlucky.
I'm not gonna fault anybody for picking Jokic. It's just he's outstanding. He's unbelievable. The argument for him is strong, the way I laid that earlier. But everything you said, everything I said for SGA.
Here we go.
It's not just picking the best player and the best.
Stay in the fairway. Oh, we got a chance to get home in 2 here.
Leveled up his play even greater than he was last year when he finished second. And rightfully so. I thought he could finish second. I thought it should have been second or third last year. Actually, I had him third. I had Lucas second on my ballot.
Give it a shot. This could be close.
So, like, he's way better this season than he was last season.
Oh.
Behind them on the ballot, I have SGA and Jokic. Let's bring my ballot up on the
Darn
screen
it.
again. We have
Actually,
Giannis and
I
Tatum.
barely would have cleared the water if I hit it dead straight, so.
I don't think that's necessarily anything people are going to be arguing over. That feels like pretty self-explanatory. The fifth spot, I have LeBron James, and he's my first team all-NBA.
Well, that's pretty good.
On my
All right, easy birdie.
ballot as well. So LeBron at 5.
Man, rough stuff. -4 is not going to cut it. I'm going for -11
I
here.
don't think it's a stretch to say that he belongs here. On the
That's what I think I need. There's some good players out here, it turns out. Really good. Yeah, fair enough. It was disappointing. Yeah. Get involved. Are you gonna participate?
Chance to assert himself as that number 5 slot, but I understand it's going to be up for grabs, that 5 slot. LeBron has been a really consistent performer.
Ooh, that is way off the mark.
As the guy who was the face of the franchise with JJ
But it's so bad it's good because now I can actually hit it over the trees.
Remember earlier in the season, he had one of his worst three-point shooting streaks of his entire career, and people were like, "Oh, he's done. Like he can't shoot like he used to. His shot's broken." And then he rattled off one of the best, the hottest three-point shooting stretches of his career. The fact that he is even in this conversation is crazy. It is crazy. And then you got Steph Curry, who's been all the way, like, offensively.
Oh, that was a good try.
And a guy that has so much gravity still at this age, who's able to drop 50, able to drop 60.
What's
still is
play on the cart?
It's absurd.
What you mean by that?
I can't argue against LeBron James. Defensively, earlier in this season, he wasn't as sharp. But you know what? Everybody at that number 5
Ooh,
slot
that is not a
has
good
little
shot.
bit of
That
work
needs to
in
get the
their
fuck
game,
down.
a little bit of weaknesses that you can,
All right, we're fine.
count against them. But LeBron James,
Ugh.
man, the way the Lakers have maintained sanity throughout what is an outrageous season and completely buried the whole Bronny James controversy earlier in the season. No one's talking about that anymore.
Oh,
And that's part
man,
of the
how am I
reason is
missing
because
that?
LeBron James has quieted all the critics
Ugh.
and continued to play at an extremely high level, and that consistency counts for something. Number 5, it's 2025, and LeBron James could be the number 5 slot in the MVP.
Shakey's
That's
Pizza.
insane.
Tom, and the listeners, I want to get your feedback on my All-NBA team.
Shakey's
First team
Pizza.
is the same as the top 5 for MVP with SGA, Jokic, Giannis, Tatum, and LeBron. Second team, I've got Mobley and Mitchell, 2 Cleveland Cavaliers there alongside.
There we go.
Jalen Brunson,
Ripped.
Anthony Edwards.
That sounds about right, Camp. I don't really remember.
I've got Stephen Curry,
Okay, we get. Let's make a run here. Let's get an eagle or something cool here.
and Ivica Zubac. Any issues, Tom, with my selections or the teams chosen with my 3 All-NBA teams? Any issues here? Probably Steph. I assume Steph would play.
Yeah, Steph would be second team for me over Jalen Brunson.
Gonna try something here.
I do wonder, who are your toughest cuts here? So Ty
Yeah,
Halliburton,
that's the thing. Yeah.
Halliburton was a very, very tough cut. He's been outstanding ever since the NBA Cup. I think with
Okay, look at this shot.
She scored more.
Huh.
I know it might sound silly, but
Wow.
like there was a stat posted on X the other day. where
Pretty
it's
sure
like
I have, but I'm not
it's
100%.
like 5 times less per game when he just misses his first
Oh, I
shot.
missed the putt
I
though.
thought that was really
Tough read.
indicative of his style, where sometimes he's just too passive as a scorer. I think he needs to be in the playoffs for Indiana to truly be a finals threat. He needs to be 28, 29 point per game scorer, and I think he has that in him. So I'm not yet there with him as All NBA, but he was very, very close. A very tough guy because been part of a solid defense. He's been an outstanding playmaker, tough cut. Harden was a cut. Siakam, I considered him. Alperen Sengun from Houston, he was a really tough cut, probably the toughest of them all. Those are just a handful of the tough cuts from the third.
Oh. Oh.
I love Zubats, dude. I love Zubats. That is a bold pick to team all NBA.
Almost got the ace.
He might be the best defender this season in the NBA. We'll talk about this later. But the way that he's improved his game, he could win most improved player. I wouldn't knock him.
Almost got the ace.
Player of the year, because now that Victor Wembanyama's out, it kind of opens up to an entirely new race.
Yeah, way left. Not bad though.
Zubats,
Not gonna kill me. No, the timing was way off there.
I think might be at this point the most underrated player in the NBA. His two-way play and the ability to, I mean, that Clippers defense has been top 2 basically the entire season. And once they get Kawhi and James Harden, Norm Powell's been in and out of the lineup. The constant is that dude Zubats. So I'm not knocking that. I like that pick, and it also I think is important to acknowledge that the
My goodness, what is going on? I'm just all of a sudden just pin seeking here. Look at this. What the fuck? Just getting red hot all of a sudden. These are tough shots. Really tough shots. Wow.
It still is vastly important to have a really good five, and centers still matter at a high level.
That was freaking crazy.
I probably would have Sengun in there.
Okay, it's gonna be just over.
But it's a coin flip for a lot of these guys, and for Tyrese
But
Halliburton,
also very close.
he's been good, but
Yeah, it's just tough. I couldn't. I would have tried to hit it one less.
highest variance players in the NBA. At home, on the road, it was like Jekyll and Hyde for much of this season. And
Oh my gosh, how close is that?
It cost me some votes here, and I'm with you. This is going to be a very competitive race, but I got Sengun as the representative for the Houston Rockets and most of the teams.
Very fair to have Sengun on there. He's been awesome this season. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I know this is a regular season award. I look forward to seeing how he performs.
Oh,
in the
no.
postseason because, I think with the Rockets, they've been great this year. We'll talk about
Don't go in the bunker.
later. We'll talk about, if they get any other awards as well. Amen Thompson, Defensive Player of the Year.
Should be. I don't know how this is gonna work. Let's just try it.
Specifically, he's borderline All-NBA this year. He might end up actually getting it once we see the ballots reveal later in the playoffs.
Okay, that comes out pretty decent.
Specifically, everybody talks
All right.
about Jalen Green as the key to the main area of improvement for the Rockets. But to me, it's how does Sengun perform in some of these high leverage games? Are teams trying to attack him? Do they do it successfully? Or does he continue to show that, hey, I'm not a defensive liability anymore? Does
Backspin.
the lack of a reliable jumper become an issue for Houston? Because sometimes during the season, we know how their offense can get.
The win was way bigger, way more of a factor than I thought it would be.
With Sengun, I look forward to seeing how he performs in this playoffs for Houston.
Wow, it's just
Regular season, without a question.
super short.
He was my toughest cut. We'll do more awards right after this quick break.
Sauce of a weak nature.
Hey everyone, Ariel Hawani here.
To be fair, that was kind of a tough pin placement.
How you can be using TurboTax to file your taxes this tax season. Their done-for-you tax prep solutions.
Oh my God, how are we so far off all of a sudden here?
Tax experts will prepare,
Yeah, that's OB.
sign,
Jesus,
file,
can't do
and
that.
get your taxes
Can't
done
just
for you, so you can have more time focusing
suck
on
like
the
that.
things that you love doing, like listening to interviews, discussions, and debates 5 days a week across Uncrown. And you can do it all knowing TurboTax has
Don't
you
know.
covered. So,
Just
make sure
no
to join us
focus.
on April 15th with our friends at
Lack of focus.
All right, Tom. Let's talk about rookies. Who you got for Rookie of the Year?
Man, Reese Shea's making a chase for it, isn't it?
Yeah, they're getting going a little bit.
Really impressive what he's done lately.
Well, this is a pretty good shot.
He's
Jesus.
balling out, but I got Steph Castle, Rookie of the Year. This guy has been performing as basically their playmaker down the stretch without Wemby, without De'Aaron Fox, and playing at a really high level. His shooting percentages, you would like to see them improve a little bit more based on his athleticism and based on his decision making. You would
Super
expect it to be a little bit higher, but he's been so good down the stretch. As good as Reese Shea has been in the scoring column, I think
Oof.
Steph Castle has been the more complete player consistently from start to finish this season, and Castle's my pick.
I'm right there with you. It's close between Castle and Reese Shea because Reese Shea, awesome close to the season. but over the full year, 12.7 points per game. He's made 35.5%
Oh.
of his threes. Closed the year well over 40%, 42.4% from three since January 30th. And you gotta feel optimistic that, you know, hopefully he carries this into the future, even though he's been very streaky in the past.
This is a very difficult shot.
Catch and shoot threes. He's coming off the screens. It's movement off the catch. He looks great. Castle, not as efficient as a scorer, but the difference is less significant than you think.
Nice putt for your boy.
7% true shooting. Castle 52.1%.
Gotta crank it way up.
The gap, even though he wasn't as efficient from three-point range, because of his ability to create chances at the rim. He had triple the amount of unassisted shots at the rim.
Grip it and rip it.
Drawn fouls. Castle didn't shoot as well from three, only 28.3% from three, but he was far better as the creator, as a playmaker. He had 594 pick and rolls this year, 150 isolations. Ricochet, only 83 pick and rolls, only 13 isolations. Both had huge scoring games. Ricochet scored over 28 times, but Castle did it 20 times. And that's in part because Castle is a created player.
We're just not playing well. Not that that's easy putt, but I make those 90% of the time.
He is a great mover without the ball. He's very smart. He's a good connective passer. Right now, he looks like an elite shooter. But Castle, he had 34 games with at least 5 assists. Ricochet had 0. And so offensively, to me, Castle's, as you argued, Tom, he just did more. And then defensively, I think both rookies were really good as rookie defenders. But if you look at against the Bucks, it's Ricochet defending Kuzma, Castle's defending Moody. Against the Warriors, Ricochet defends Moody, Castle defends Steph. Against the Grizzlies, Ricochet defends Wells, Castle defends John Moran. And that's true for every team. B-Ball Index has this matchup difficulty stat that kind of accounts for, it's in the name, matchup difficulty. How tough is the matchup for the defensive player? It's in the name. And it uses data to pull from like the amount of
not on fire.
And puts them into percentiles. Ricochet matchup difficulty is in the 49 percentile. Castle is in the 97 percentile. So I think that goes to show like the load he carried offensively, Tom, and the amount of tough matchups he handled on defense. And we saw he did a solid job against Steph, and that's shocking.
That's a pretty good shot.
The Warriors this week. Castle, man, my rookie of the year as well. I'm with you.
Yeah, I think Castle wins it. I think Ricochet gets a little bit of a bump for his late season play, and when you look at Jalen Wells and the fact that he was oftentimes the best wing defender for the Memphis Grizzlies and a guy that was such a rock for them with all of the controversy, with the changes mid-season, he was awesome, and it's really unfortunate that he had that really scary injury there on that play against Charlotte, and that was one of those.
This is a potential debacle here.
You're heartbroken because no player.
Sometimes that hits the thing.
Simpson had a really heartfelt apology. I don't think it was a dirty play. It's just something.
Oh my God! How are we missing everything?
Necessarily Simpson just being reckless there, but Jalen Wells.
Okay.
I think,
this sucks. I'm resetting. I'm resetting the whole tournament. Forget it. We're starting over. The mojo sucks. We're just going to pretend. We're getting into Buddy Dowd mode. We're going to go through the whole tournament one more time and then call it a night. Starting over. Terrible. First of all, why is that door shut? Make me hot. It's U.S. again. U.S., Japan, UK, then U.S. again.
Was I think better than a lot of people expected. Donovan Clingan had like the best rebound rate for a rookie of all time. Wasn't able to stay on the floor as much because of the fouling. But there have been some really bright moments from this rookie class that started out as the worst rookie class. I wrote about it for Yahoo. The worst rookie class ever. But there were some nice moments down the stretch, especially for Modest Buzelis, who, man, that guy is super talented.
You know, I actually don't think I changed my rankings too much. I'm pretty happy with what I had in 24. I had Shepard 1. I'd stay with that. I had Clingan 2, Castle 3, Buzelis 4, Devin Carter 5. I maybe bump Devin Carter down.
Go in.
Because he's an
Oh.
upperclassman out of Providence. Did not have a great year for Sacramento. But he also missed the start of the year with injuries. So
Brutal.
it wouldn't be a large drop for him. I had Sar at 6, and I had Edie at 7.
Yeah, no.
So I'm pretty happy with my top 7 rankings. Maybe like I moved Ricochet up. I had him too low. I moved McCain up. I had him at 12. I'm happy having him at 12, but I moved him up more. And so I think redrafting Reed. We didn't see a lot of Reed Shepard this year, but every time we did for extended minutes, it felt like it was good, really good, sometimes awesome. Including this week.
Nice.
So maybe we'll see it again this weekend if Houston's
Settle.
testing their stars.
Oh,
they have their
brutal
guys playing again. But I think I'd stick mostly with what I did for the 2024 draft originally in a redraft, except for a couple tweaks. Ultimately, though, Castle.
If Reed played for the Washington Wizards this year, he would have won Rookie of the Year. There's no doubt in my mind. No doubt.
I think he would have as
right?
well.
Like,
Matt, if he got everything Bob Carrington did, he wins Rookie of the Year.
I think any time he got oxygen, anytime he got playing time, if he played for Charlotte,
Get on the
if he
green.
played for Washington, if he played for a team that needed a point guard or someone to absorb that
This is a
kind
tough putt.
of scoring and distributing responsibility, like he would win. And because he's on a team, the Houston Rockets that are trying to win a championship this year, I understand why people would be out
Tough putt.
on Reed Shepard and saying like, look, they got a number 3 pick who barely played this season. We're still on that bandwagon, dude. I'm still on Reed Shepard.
Let's pull up my first team all rookie. He is not here. He's not on any of the teams. I have Wells as in 3rd for Rookie of the Year. Edie and Khalil Ware rounding out the first team.
There it is.
I feel like with Khalil Ware, he's been excellent this year for the Miami Heat.
Oh, no.
Which has not been a great year for them, but he's been very impressive. And then on the second team, I have Alex Sarr, Donovan Clingan, Missy, Buzelis, and Kyle Filipowski. This is tough, man, because there are a lot of candidates this year. You can make games played don't matter, so you could consider Jared McCain, but he got injured so early in the year.
Check that.
Bob Carrington.
Go crazy. Oh, that did good.
From
That did
Washington.
shit.
Isaiah Collier.
I'm not giving myself good putts here.
Really good to close the year. Ron Holland with his defense and just how steady he's been. Jamal Shed, Justin Edwards. Like, there's a lot of guys you could consider for the second team, but this is what I
See ya. God damn it.
Any standouts here? Are you mad that I had Klingon on the second team instead of the first team, Tom?
45-degree rule in play somehow.
Filipowski, by the way, against Klingan, 30, 18, and 5 the other night. Like, Filipowski showed out. Like, that was a monster performance. And yeah, not many people are watching Utah Portland on a Wednesday night overtime game. But dude, Filipowski showed out. It was an incredible performance from him. 30, 18, and 5. Not many rookies are putting up that. And look, when you're talking for the second team slots on the
That would have been a good one.
down rookie season, I'm not gonna hate it. I'm a guy who watched Filipowski. When Wake Forest beat them last year, and then Filipowski had that whole injury when we rushed the floor. I had a little bit of a sour taste on Filipowski, and his stock going forward just wasn't the biggest fan of that guy. But college stuff aside, Filipowski was fantastic down the stretch here. And again, some of that is just playing time. Is that he was able to get these touches, able to get these minutes down the stretch for a Utah team. He wasn't necessarily trying to.
It's gonna go miss to the right.
Every game to win, but
Probably.
That's what you need.
Maybe not.
In order to get to these type of accolades.
Get on there. Yeah.
Let's move on to Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. There's a little bonus birdie. I didn't think I earned.
Thompson for Defensive Player of the Year. I'm doing it, man. I'm picking on Ben Thompson. This year, I think he was the best defender in basketball. Granted, Victor Wembanyama got injured halfway through. Less than 6 feet on shots less than 6 feet from the basket. Opponents shoot 9.7% worse when Ahmed Thompson is defending. Less than 10 feet, 9.5% worse.
Tree factor is
They shoot 5.5% worse.
there.
The dude is near the top of the league in block jumpers, altered shots. We've seen what he can do at blocking SGA, contesting Stephen Curry every foot around on the half court. 94th
Okay.
percentile on matchup difficulty.
Okay.
According to D-Ball Index. He always
Okay.
defends the opponent's best player. He's defending guards, John Morant, Donovan Mitchell, SGA, Curry, bigger
Okay.
wings, Anthony Edwards, LeBron James. He's even defended guys like Evan Mobley and Naz Reid, bigs, and he does it at an all while being an elite help defender. He's not just an on-ball stopper guy. He's jumping passing lanes. He's an interior shot blocker. He has amazing hands where, like, in transition, sometimes the guy will be rumbling down the court, and he swipes the ball, knocks it out of bounds, or just rips it out of there.
Not 45-degree rule somehow.
As well. He's a great help defender. And I think if you just, like, isolate Amen in particular games, if you watch that Warriors-Rockets game, Amen was the more impactful defender than Draymond Green. You watch the OKC game, Amen was more impactful than Dort. And I with Evan Mobley, I have him second on my ballot.
Okay, might be able to make a run at this one. That's a good drive.
But I never watch him and feel that he is the NBA's best and most impactful defender. He's great. He's versatile. He's been part of a top 10 defense. But
oh no, that is so bad.
Is in part why he doesn't win this for me.
I think I instinctively went major hook mode just to maybe give it a chance.
For what it's worth. What do you think?
Yeah, dude. Amen Thompson's my pick too. I didn't think you were gonna go there. I have Amen Thompson. Yep. Last week I mentioned that he was my favorite on this program. I said he's my favorite. He checks off more boxes than Draymond, Evan Mobley, and this is a guy who's the only player in the NBA top 20 in both blocks and steals. The versatility you talked about, where he's a point of attack, shut down Steph Curry the other night, and he's been doing that all season. Is that when you got a John Morant or a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Brunson, whomever it is,
that's bad.
He's the guy that they're going to throw at him to completely throw off all their first actions, and that is a thing that you can't say for Evan Mobley or Draymond Green. Draymond Green's greatest attribute in this conversation is that he has a podcast. I'm telling you, he went from 0% chance, 0.8% on Polymarket, 0.8% chance of winning Defensive Player of the Year until he had that comment where he's like, I deserve it, 1,000% have a case for Defensive Player of the Year. And then he became the favorite. Yes, he had a great game against Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks, and that helped kind of drive that
Get in the hole.
But the greatest thing that Draymond Green has going for him this year is that he is vocal and he has his podcast and he started that campaign by himself. And I'm sorry, when you look at the defensive rating of Amen Thompson, it's 107 when he's on the floor. Look at the other defenders on Houston. You could say Dylan Brooks and Tari Eason, but I'm telling you, the Houston Rockets
that's not what I want.
have a top 4 defensive rating.
That's not going to kill me at all.
And Fred VanVleet.
Wow, that worked out awesome.
On the floor for most of them. Who picked Houston as being a top 4 defensive rating team this season? Who picked him? No one did. You know why? Because they didn't see how good Amen Thompson would be as a 22-year-old in his second year in the league, dominating defensively and turning Stephen Curry into just another guy out there. He's been top 20 in both steals and blocks, only player to do that. His on-court defensive rating, 107, meaning the Houston Rockets are holding opponents to 107 points over 100 possessions when he's on the
Not getting the dopest win here.
That's better than Mobley's, and that's better than Jaren Jackson Jr.'s. And I would argue that those other 3 candidates, Jaren Jackson Jr., Draymond, and Mobley, have better defenders around them that can pump up that score, pump down in the case of a defensive rating where lower is better. Amen Thompson, best defensive player this year, and I would go Evan Mobley at number 2, Tamani Kamara at number 3, and Dyson Daniels right behind him. I think Tamani Kamara, second in the NBA defensive stops, being a rim protector in ways that Dyson Daniels isn't. I would argue that he's been more impactful, and if you look at the defensive rating of the Portland Trailblazers over the last half of the season, he has been outstanding. We had him on the Big Number podcast. I don't know if you saw that interview, but Dan Devine and I had Tamani Kamara on the pod, and it was awesome. It was great to hear him talk about his game and how
actually,
as a defender.
that's fine.
He's the only guy in the NBA who has defended both SGA for more than 50 possessions and Nikola Jokic for more than 50 possessions. So the versatility and the ability to not just steal the ball and disrupt your first action, but also to be the back line of defense, blocking shots. You watch that Paolo Banchero play and all the charges that he's taken. I think he gets the edge for me at number 3. But hey, I can't argue with Lou Dort there. Can't argue with Dyson Daniels. I just think that Draymond Green, he's been a good defender, not a great one. And by the way, I think this is right. I don't even think he's eligible right now. Draymond Green still has another game that he has to play in order to be eligible for Defensive Player of the Year, which throws me off. I'm like, dude, dude, if he turns his ankle in the first minute of the game on Friday night, all these sports books that have him as a favorite, they're gonna look very
Nice birdie.
good because he's not even eligible right now.
Yeah, he currently has 66 games played. However, he has 3 games under 20 minutes.
Might stay in the fairway.
Yes, he is eligible. He's eligible. Okay, so he has 63 games of over 20 minutes played, and he has 2 games between 15 and 20 minutes. So he has reached the threshold. He's reached.
So if you have 15 to 20, you can have one. I thought it was just you
Get
can
some.
Two.
I
So
take that back, Draymond.
He is
Sorry,
officially
I'm not as good
eligible.
at podcasting as you are.
He's like, shut your big eye. Shut your third eye, Tom.
There we go.
Put away your
It
numbers.
is confusing because then there's like you can do like an injury like exception, file for like an injury exception if you fall short. There's weird things, but the point is also I'm in Thompson.
I'm in favor of the rule. I'm in favor of the rule, Tom, for what it's worth. But like, there's all these little weird qualities.
He'll go in the bunker.
It makes it too complicated. Can we just have it easy? 65 games. Story. Like, what is all this stuff about? Like 15 to 20 minutes, this and that. Like, just make it 65 games. Period. And that's it. That's all.
Well,
Ty Jerome being eligible for 6th Man of the Year, but not for Most Improved Player, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
No,
I got a good yardage here.
I'll just throw this out there. Another reason why I got Ahmed Thompson is because he's played 280 with Draymond Green, and that counts for something, right, Kev?
It does. Yep, it does, for sure. And that played into my decision with first team All-NBA.
Got a good yardage.
Thompson,
Helpful towards the cause.
I also have Jalen Williams, and I have Tyson Williams on the first team. So going to the second team, I do have your guy, Tom. I've got Tumani Kamara on my second team, all defense alongside Draymond Green, Jaren Jackson Jr., Ivica Zubac, and OG Anunoby. But Tumani Kamara, the Blazers sent this Tumani Kamara, Defensive Player of the Year. Like, a lot of the teams send stuff, and Tumani Kamara, they sent this. I'm going to give one away to a Blazers fan. Within here, for this Defensive Player of the Year.
While you do that, I will explain. There's a box, and the reason why it's a box is because Tumani Kamara, that's his gesture when he puts, when he stops a guy defensively.
Nice.
He puts his hand gesture. He does a little box out there because he's putting the other scorer in a box. He's a guy that when you look at his defensive stops, he's combined steals, blocks recovered, his offensive fouls drawn. He's
Might be pretty good.
Behind Dyson Daniels, but you have to put in
Oh.
his number 033 in order
Just
to
a
open
brutal
up
hole.
that box. And what do you got in there? Show the
You
people
make
what you got.
waffles. You make waffles. You can make a Tumani Kamara waffle. So if you're a Blazers fan who wants to make Tumani Kamara edition box waffles, just respond to the post for this podcast on X. Just say 033 in response. I'll randomly select the winner before the
Tough hole.
before ballots close. I think that'll
Need a better strap for that hole.
I'll select a winner at random to receive Tumani Kamara, Defensive Player of the Year, NBA award voting recruitment. Trying to sway me. They didn't sway me for second team though. I already had him second team because he's been awesome, Tom, as you outlined earlier. Kamara's been absolutely unfreaking believable this year for the Blazers, and I feel like, and doesn't it feel like him overall as a player?
This could be short.
Kamara, we already
Maybe.
know what he is defensively, but offensively, like there's another level
Okay.
for him that he can reach
Okay.
over time with just how versatile he is and the number of different things he can do.
Nice.
I think this guy's got a chance to be like a really like top 40, top 50 player in the NBA once he's at his peak. So yeah, I'm excited about Kamara. I want to talk a little bit about Draymond being on second team because I think some people are going to want him to win. And you know, I would say Draymond has been defensive player of the year caliber starting February 8th. The last 29 games of the season, he's been unbelievable. Opponents are shooting 10.3% worse on 2-pointers when Draymond is nearby since February 8th. But prior to that, they were only 5% worse, which is still good, but it's not defensive player of the year level. It was barely even all defensive level in the middle of the season when the Warriors traded for Jimmy Butler and decided, hey, let's start trying. Steph got better then, Draymond got better then, but ultimately this is a full season award. It is not a lifetime achievement award either. It's just not. And so
Ooh.
Draymond, he deserves
Ooh.
second team All NBA in my opinion. But I don't have him in the top 3 for Defensive Player of the Year because it's not a full season award. And, if he had played the way he did in the first half of the year,
That's pretty acceptable. I'm getting a little tired. So -8 feels like a pretty decent score.
or Gobert or Caruso,
Let's keep playing.
for third OKC guy, like a lot of these guys would be
Oop. Nope. Wow.
While he was on the floor, and considering
That is going to be large.
guys are barely getting to 65 games in the first place, you might see people be like, you know what? Because of the huge margin and the substantial gap between Victor Wembanyama and the rest of the league defensively, and you see what the San Antonio Spurs have done defensively since he's been out, that you might see people vote for Victor Wembanyama. So in many ways, I feel like this is kind of the consolation award, and I know Draymond Green has deserved to get more than one, but when you look at the full season, like you said, the season, this is not the best since Wemby went out. This is not the
Got the eagle on your first hole?
This is not the best.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is about 82 games. Who was the best defender? And Ahmed Thompson, in my book, has been the best defender. And
I should have played that. I knew that because it always goes left to right there.
Victor Wembanyama might have won this whole thing.
I'm with you there, Tom. And
Tough to not get a birdie on the first hole after you hit a super shot, but the wind was a little crazy. Here it is again.
He's partially a generational defender because of what he does in the playoffs, and that's why I think there should be playoff awards, not just Finals MVP, like the defensive player of the playoffs. Like Draymond Green might have 6 of those. You know, like to me, that's something that is missed in the postseason. They give out awards for the best defender of the full playoffs, the best scorer, the best offensive player.
What the?
Of the full playoffs.
Did I miss something there? Was that a shitty lie?
All of these types of things, I would really love to see the NBA install. If you're gonna have a clutch player of the award, you can't have that for the playoffs. I mean, come on. Let's
Let me ask you this. Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think Draymond would trade his rings for Rudy Gobert's 4 Defensive Player of the Years? No.
Not a
He's
chance.
not. Not a chance. You know what? Rudy would trade
All right.
all of them. And you know what?
Count it. That was awesome.
Is talking to Elizabeth Moss, and he's like screaming at her.
I never watched the show.
Okay. Well, I'll just say
It's on my list for Sunday.
she wants more recognition. She wants more praise. And Don Draper screams at her and says, "That's what the money's for." And in the same way, for Rudy Gobert and all his Defensive Player of the Year awards, and Draymond feeling like he deserves more, that's what the rings are for. That's what the banners are for. Like, you can't have everything. And if you are going to trade, if you want more Defensive Player of the Year awards in the regular
Peter was
season,
glitching.
okay, but I'm just saying, Draymond Green, you've got all the rings, you've got all that notoriety about your defensive play in the 16 wins of the postseason. That's fine. That's what you play for championships for. And Rudy Gobert would trade all of those for just one ring, like you said. And so I think Draymond's right. He might deserve more Defensive Player of the Year awards based on the entirety of the season, if you include postseason. But that's not what the rule is. That's not what the award is. And I feel like that's what the rings are for Draymond. You can sleep at night with those rings.
Solid.
It might not be super comfortable, but I would imagine you sleep better at night because of those rings than if you didn't have any of those.
Spot on, Tom. Let's take one last quick break, and then we'll talk about the
There we
MVP
go.
awards.
There we go. Now we're playing some NES Open. Stay on the green.
Ariel Hawani here.
Okay.
I wanted to take a minute to tell you all how you can be using TurboTax.
Now we're talking.
to file your taxes
That's a
this
good birdie.
season. Their done-for-you tax prep solutions
Into the
make
wind.
filing taxes easier than ever because their live tax experts will prepare, sign, file, and focusing on the things that you love doing, like listening to interviews, discussions,
Past that
and
tree.
debates
Okay.
5 days a week across Uncrown. And you can do it all knowing TurboTax has you covered. So make sure you file by April 15th with our friends at TurboTax.
Didn't mean to fade it quite that much. Go win.
Sixth man of the year. I got number
Tough
3
putt here.
on my ballot here. Ty Jerome from Cleveland. Number 2, Malik Beasley, and then Peyton Pritchard.
Oh, we're not even
Sixth
close.
man of the year for the Boston
That is a
Celtics.
shitty
Pritchard
putt.
been outstanding this year. I mean, I think Beasley is deserving. He's the better three-point
Yeah,
shooter.
then the 40. I got 45-degree fucks, maybe a little bit there. Debacle. That's what you get for just having a shitty putt. What the hell? That was way off.
7.8 attempts per game. Beasley took a couple more per game. 9.3 per game, 41.2%. But Pritchard did way more as a playmaker, a better rebounder, better defender, better creator, self-created more of those shot opportunities, energizer off
Nope.
the Celtics bench, almost 30 points per game. Close between them. Beasley very deserving, but I gave Pritchard the nod here for this award.
I think the more that you start, the less
Chill.
I'm going to consider you for the sixth man of the year. Malik Beasley had 18 starts to pump up a little bit of his stats and kind of more of a starter than Peyton Pritchard, who only started 2 games this season. I'm dabbling with the take that if you start any games, you're ineligible for the sixth man of the year. It is kind of
games.
It is kind of weird that we're giving an award for the best player who's not good enough to start games for you. It is kind of weird. It is strange that we have this award in the first place, and I get it. They want awards for not just the top players. We want guys to get recognized in the middle of the league.
Why not reward this sixth man important?
Ugh.
Kevin McHale. There's been some great sixth men in NBA history. Hall of
Wish
Fame.
that sucked a little bit less.
Sometimes you don't have to be a middling player. You can be a great player who comes off the bench. I think the award comes from a good place for that reason.
It does. So 0 starts. 0 starts. That's
Zero starts.
That's my take. That you cannot be starting. I know there's a limit to how many games you can start, but for
It's
Malik
half.
Beasley,
That's what it is, which is a lot. Half is a lot.
Get in there.
it's a lot, dude.
Oh.
And Peyton Pritchard, he's my pick too. Ty Jerome, Malik Beasley in the conversation as well. DeAndre Hunter also deserves recognition. And I think part of the reason why they pulled him from the starting lineup this year was maybe to maybe Hunter wanted the sixth man of the year award, and maybe they felt like we want to make sure that he is eligible. But
Nice.
that is Peyton Pritchard's award. Open and shut case, and he for the majority of the season didn't start any games, and then of course he starts against the Portland Trail Blazers.
I think I need a little more yardage, actually.
30 piece next to Derek White. So he didn't quite make the Haberstroh rule of 0 games started for sixth man. But if we're gonna give a sixth man of the year award, you have to be sixth man for the entire year.
So, okay, let's talk about this a minute. I'm very curious what the listeners think of this take because I think there's something there. Currently, the NBA rule is you have to come off the bench for over half of your games. To me, that threshold is too high. Beasley, I think, is much more than the line should be. He started 18 of 80 games. So
Oh, boy.
that is 22.5% of his games played as a starter. If you set the threshold at 25% or 20%, to me,
Don't
that
go OB.
is
That would be sad.
a bit more realistic.
Oh my God.
Slices them in half. You want 0 games? You want 0% starter?
Mhm.
NBA says less than 50. So how about 20 or 25?
Why don't we do a best part-time starter award? Because that's what Malik Beasley would be. Let's do it. Why not? If we're good for a full-time.
This hole blows. I need a better strap for this hole. Holy shit.
Starter award. No, we wouldn't do that. But that's Malik Beasley. He started 18 games this year. I don't know why this is the hill that I want to die on, but Peyton Pritchard is the most pure bench player in the NBA. Most pure reserve. Most pure sixth man of the year because he's only started 2 games. So hats off to Malik Beasley. Great shooter, amazing player off the bench for the majority of the season. But if you're starting 18 games, I'm sorry, you're off my ballot.
I actually thought Pritchard was easy. Like,
Struggle.
Pretty easy overall choice. Like Beasley's deserving, but Pritchard, everything he does for Boston, he's awesome. Let's move on to Coach of the Year. I got Kenny Atkinson from the Cleveland Cavaliers. This one, no big surprise considering their massive improvement this
Should have
season.
factored in the
To
break
me,
on that,
some of the
actually.
tougher choices were the second and third slot because this year there's a lot of
Yeah, that's a
guys
double,
who make
triple
it.
bogey.
Mark Daigneault from
There goes
OKC,
that.
JB Bickerstaff with the Pistons improvement. Rick Carlisle, I feel like, has been way overlooked in this for the Pacers. You could say JJ Redick, Ty Lue, and Ime Udoka ended up getting my second and third slots for Coach of the Year with Kenny Atkinson winning it. Ty Lue, Kawhi Leonard plays less than half the season. Powell misses a ton of time. Roster gets shuffled mid-year with a trade for Bogey. They have the number 3 defensive rating. He helped them stay afloat offensively without Kawhi Leonard. And ever since they got Kawhi back, they have been absolutely stellar with Kawhi on the floor. I think he is deserving a second. And then with Udoka, they had one little blip, a 6-game losing streak in the middle of January to February. They're 32 and 14 before that, 20 and 8 since. He helped this team develop their identity.
Too much. What is that playing good?
Number 3 in defensive rating for the full season, Tom. Udoka is part of the reason why. With the scheme he installed, but also the mentality he has on the floor and the tone he sets as a coach for his team. And everybody falls in line with that. And Udoka, to me, is the third slot ahead of some of those other guys. I mean, I think Pistons fans are going to be pissed at me, especially after having Beasley second. But I couldn't go with JB because the Pistons were 7 and 18 this year against teams with a top 10 net rating. 7 and 18 against teams.
I always hit it over the screen.
They weren't great against the best teams in the league. They really beat up on the weaker teams in the East, some of the middling teams. They were very good. They deserve all their praise. But for top 3 Coach of the Year, with I think a loaded year, I just gave the edge to Udoka as the 2 seed. I gave the edge to Lue as a seed in the West, and Kenny Atkinson for overhauling that Cleveland Cavaliers team. Is that fair, Tom?
I have JB at number 2, behind Kenny Atkinson. I have Daigneault at number 3. So you mentioned it. It's going to be really tough to sort out 2 through 8 on this ballot. If you were going to do a top 8 Coach of the Year candidates, you could probably fill any of those 8 in any order, and you can make a case for it, right? Like, the thing about JB Bickerstaff, it's so funny, is that Kenny Atkinson might win the award because of how disappointing the Cavs were last year under JB Bickerstaff. So it's this weird dynamic where if you're voting Kenny Atkinson, you're almost saying that JB Bickerstaff did such a poor job last year with this talent, and Kenny has done such a great job unlocking Evan Mobley, getting Ty Jerome to be 6th Man of the Year candidate, getting Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland playing like you're not worried about them taking turns, and then Jared Allen, of course, being as dynamic as a playmaker, not just a rim protector and finisher. It's been an awesome team to watch. I think it's harder. The marginal value of a win is so much greater at the 50 to 60 rather than the 20 to 30 or 20 to 40. I think that it's so much harder to be a team that
45-degree fucked.
A plus 10
Why?
net rating in the NBA. One of the best net ratings we've ever seen in the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers this season. That's way harder to do on a night-to-night basis than, say, moving from one of the basement dwellers to a 45-win team. And look, this is a bad argument to make that JB Bickerstaff is the deserving Coach of the Year after what they did to the New York Knicks on Thursday night. But I would say this is a full season award, and Kenny Atkinson, with the expectations coming into this year and where they are now, no one has moved the needle in the title conversation more than Kenny Atkinson. I did not have them as a title contender, period, coming into this year. And they are
Go in the
the
hole.
top tier and have been there for months. And KOC, Mark Daigneault, it is insane that he's going to probably, I don't think he's going to finish in the top 3 this year. I don't think he's going to. And I think that's insane considering this team has the best point differential in NBA history.
Yeah, and they've dealt with absence in the
Ooh.
no Chet for a portion, no Hartenstein to begin the year. It's like
That needs to find a happy place.
I mean, it's pretty remarkable that they've been able to be this amazing defensively and this amazing offensively. It's not just SGA; it's Daigneault as well with that. Like he it feels like anytime Ousmane Dieng is on the court, he's playing well. I mean, from a player development perspective as well.
The other Jalen Williams has triple doubles. The other Jalen Williams. Like, this team is so well coached, man. I can't wait to see what they do in the postseason, dude.
Me too. So, I got really mad at me right now for JD Bickerstaff, not in my top 3 coach of the year. Malik Beasley for 6th man of the year. Most improved. Everybody's talking about Cade Cunningham. Who do you have the most improved, Tom?
Oh, I'm curious. I'm wondering if you're going to do this. You're not going to give JB Bickerstaff Coach of the Year top 3. You're not going to go Malik Beasley. Are you going to go 3 for 3, the hat trick, by basically being public enemy number 1 in Detroit and not give it to Cade Cunningham? Because me, I got Dyson Daniels as my most improved.
Never get a break on that hole.
You said it earlier.
I think it's just a glitchy hole.
For most improved, he was basically out of the league last year, injured and also not playing, deserving of being like a rotation player, and then being arguably a top 4 player on a Cavs team that's winning about as high as we could have expected for the Cleveland Cavaliers, hitting the 100th percentile in expectation this year. That Ty Jerome is not eligible for most improved player is so asinine to me. It makes no sense. This guy has been awesome. But if he does not qualify and meet the criteria because of the weird combo way that we do the end of year awards, I'll give it to Dyson Daniels, who, again, like the improvement from not really a rotation guy to being possibly the defensive player of the year is a huge change. And I want to give Dyson Daniels the credit here, so he's my pick for improve if it's not going to Ty Jerome.
Yeah, I mean, so Dyson Daniels is deserving for sure. I had him 2nd on my ballot. I had Christian Brown from the Denver Nuggets 3rd on my ballot. I feel like he's been way overlooked in this whole discussion with his massive improvement offensively, a huge uptick in volume, and an improvement in efficiency as well. But I have Cade Cunningham winning the award. I got Cade winning the award. I got Cade winning most improved, and I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, the number 1 pick shouldn't be eligible. They're supposed to be really good." Well, last time we saw Cade healthy, it was like, he's all right. He's good. He's solid, but he's not.
Okay.
Pick expectations. He's a solid player. He's maybe the 80th.
Oh, if I would have hit that full.
Best guy in the NBA, and he goes to an All-NBA level. You talk about the leap it takes to go from 40 wins to 60 wins versus 20 wins to 30 wins or 40 wins. Cade went from, is this guy a bust? To, oh, wait a minute, he's an All-NBA talent. To me, I don't care what the guy was drafted.
All right, let's do one more round at least. Find some kind of magic here. That was a decent finish. Find some kind of magic here. Disappointed for me. Not terrible overall.
Despite Dyson Daniels, despite Christian Brown, despite a fair amount of guys, Zubats, Austin Reeves, your guy Denny Avdia, a lot of candidates. Ty Jerome, who was not eligible, unfortunately. I've got Cade number 1 because I don't factor in where the guy was drafted necessarily, Tom. To me, it's about year-to-year improvement.
I can't get behind this. I can't.
You look really disappointed in me.
I am, dude.
You want me to get knocks in the door and phone calls from Detroit. That's what you want. You were hoping for it, but look, it's true, man. I voted for.
There we go. This could be really good.
To me, it's not just an award for borderline role player to really good role player.
Yeah, last year Cade Cunningham, 22.7.
Is this gonna get 45 fucked? Let's check it out.
Assists per game. He shot 45% from the floor, 36%
Lucked out.
from three-point land, and 87% from the line. You're telling me that improvement from 23-8-4 to what he is this season is more impressive to you than what Dyson Daniels has done, or that Christian Brown has done, or that Ty Jerome has done? Like, the guy was really good last year. He was really good this year.
It's not just a numbers thing, though. It's just not. To me, that's part of it. It's not just a numbers thing. Dyson Daniels was a great defender for the Pelicans as well. He was an awesome defender for the Pelicans. Dyson Daniels, the argument for me is like, oh, wait, how much he improved offensively?
Honestly, too.
Offensively, yeah. Daniels has improved. But Cade Cunningham, the volume, the increase in minutes, the increase in responsibility, the improvement as a playmaker, to me, Cade took a big leap from solid, the solid number 3 guy two than another one for what it's worth.
Kev, all right, then say it here. The reason why you have Cade Cunningham as most
There we
improved
go.
player of the year in 2025 is because you thought he was a massive bust last year.
Yeah, I thought he looked like a bust. I thought he looked like an okay, solid player, but maybe somebody the Pistons should consider trading. I worried about what he was for that team. I worried that defensively he was too inconsistent. I worried that his efficiency as a perimeter scorer was never going to reach the level that it needed to. But for
Wow,
Cade
this is looking pretty
year,
good.
that he answered a lot of my concerns, and he still has more ways to improve as well over the course of time. That's what's, I think, promising for the Pistons, that Cade has more improvable areas as he continues to develop. But this improvement from year 3,
Guess I got 45 fucked a little bit.
most improved pick. Now, it's different perspectives. Most improved is always gets into these types of debates. It's always like this. Remember when John Morant won? And I think that year I might have voted Desmond Bain, if I remember correctly. I may be misremembering. Might have been different years. But like John, number 2 pick, it was the same thing then. Well, should he really be a candidate for this? It's always like role player versus top pick for this debate. Maybe the NBA needs to make a rule. You have the 65-game rule. You have this rule for half games for 6-man. Maybe you can't be a top 5 pick or a top 3 pick and be eligible for most improved player. Maybe the NBA needs a rule for this as well.
Peace.
I don't know what the rule change would be, but I appreciate you standing on your take, because I think for people who are arguing for Cade Cunningham to be the number 1 guy in the most improved race, you are admitting that you thought he was a massive bust. Because there's no other argument. There's no other argument that a number 1 overall most improved player of the year.
Not bust at like the Markelle Fultz type of level, but bust to number 1 pick expectations. This was my same thing I said earlier in the Reese show. He might be a bust if the 3-pointer actually isn't going to come along. Like, he needs to be able to shoot from 3. Well, he's shooting 3.
There we go.
He looks like a really good role player for 10 plus years, and maybe more than that considering his range of skills. With Cade last year, it was like, well, yeah, he can score inefficiently, high volume, good stats, bad team player.
Here we go.
I'm not so sure he's actually that great. I think you look at player rankings, nobody would really have him in the top 70 or top 80. He was a borderline top 100 guy for the Pistons through the first 3 years of his career. But now at this point, he's an all-NBA guy. Like, for sure, all-NBA guy. Part of the really good Pistons defense, part of the reason why they had the big improvement.
Look at me, I'm on this friggin' island.
But you're right. Maybe I was too low on him before. Maybe that's what you're saying, right?
Well, no, I'm just saying that implicitly what you're arguing, or anyone who picks Cade Cunningham here, is that he was not nearly as good as you thought he was, because he's not an MVP candidate. Like, you're not like SGA, Jokic, or Cade Cunningham, because in my book, that's the leap you would have to make. For Cade Cunningham, who averaged 23 and 8 last year, and his 3-point percentage has not improved, his field goal percentages have improved a little bit, his all-in-one metrics have improved a little bit.
Oh boy.
I'm saying he has not improved, but what I'm arguing is, considering how good he was last year, in order for me to put him atop this race, it would be, is he an MVP this year? Is he the best player in the league this year? And that jump, I think, would be requisite for me to be the number 1 overall in this race. But to me, Dyson Daniels' two-way play, the fact that he is leading the league by far in the steals column, is to me the most improved player if we're not doing Ty Jerome. Now, I don't think there should be an ideological rule change where it's like guys can't win it in their second year, or guys can't win it in their third year, or guys can't win it if they're the number 1 overall pick. I do think that voters will incorporate all of that already.
Too hard.
In the same way, I don't think we need a 65-game rule, because I think voters already implicitly are measuring players against how many games played. And you see it in the numbers. The star players this year are not playing as much as they did last year. But there is some evidence that the 65-game rule is working, because 2 seasons ago, before the rule was implemented, the star player participation was lower than it was over the last 2 years. And I would say it's worked on that level, that you saw teams shut down a lot of these guys in the second half of the year. And especially the play-in tournament has done a lot to improve player participation. But I would still say that I can't get behind Cade Cunningham because what you're saying is, and you've already stood on it, is that he was a disappointment up until this year, and a #1 pick who's averaging 23 points a game already. To get this award, to me, the bar has to be higher.
Very fair. And I think you're going to have a lot of people making that argument. And I look forward to seeing who actually ends up winning this. Because there's a lot of people who want to share your perspective.
Eh.
There's a lot of people
At least
who
it's in the
are gonna
fairway.
say his
Didn't
improvements
crush it though.
as a volume shooter off the catch. That in fact he began extending his range to 3 off the dribble. He improved at the rim. He improved as a defender. There will be people who say, well, he took enough of a leap to All-NBA. There will be that argument. There will be people who say #1 picks should not be considered, period, end of the story. But to me, I think, JB rightfully deserves a ton of the credit for the Pistons' improvement this year. Malik Beasley deserves a lot of the credit for the Pistons' improvement. Tobias Harris and these veteran additions, Beasley, all this, right? They changed it.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Wow. Dunk you very much. All right. That was a good one.
Number 1 on the list. Why the Pistons became a top 6 seed in the Eastern Conference. He's number 1 on the list, in my opinion.
I think Trajan Langdon in the front office deserves some credit too. Malik Beasley and Tobias Harris have been awesome in spreading the floor and surrounding him with shooters. And Jalen Duren
This could be pretty good.
and starting at the 5, like they were playing at the 5 and not having double big lineups a lot this season, which is what Lonnie Williams did, where it was like they were playing 90s basketball, like caveman basketball with 2 like throwback centers.
Oh my God, I almost did it twice.
Times next to Cade Cunningham didn't work, and what JB Bickerstaff in the front office did,
Holy shit.
space the floor with Malik Beasley and Tobias Harris. I think
Let's
opened
go.
up the floodgates
Got a round going now.
to Cunningham, and I think he's been improved, but I think the system has improved just as much as Cade Cunningham, and to me, the improvement is more about the coaching and the personnel than it is about Cade Cunningham, and that might make me an enemy in Detroit, but I'm saying everybody deserves credit here.
Both of us.
Yeah.
We'll both be enemies of Detroit. I look forward to seeing how that season closes out for them. The Pistons and Bucks play twice to close the year. There's still, if the Pistons win both of those games, they'll be the 5 seed instead of the 6 seed. Milwaukee is on a little bit of a winning streak here, 6 in a row. Good vibes in Milwaukee right now, but we'll see. Who knows? Maybe Detroit rattles off 2 in a row and steals the 5 seed from the Bucks. Tom, this is fun, man. This is fun.
Oh my.
We had some surprises.
That's a big time putt right there.
Some good disagreements. Happy with both of our ballots. Very happy.
For people a little peek behind the curtain, you would not share me your ballot. I was getting prepped for this.
No, that's not gonna work.
Like, nah, I'm putting Tom on the block list. You blocked me from the document, and you know what? I think that's for better content. You're a great host, but also a better producer. Good job, Mike.
Yeah. I saw on the dog last night. I just blocked Tom Averstro's email.
Did you think about? All right, I'm gonna ask you honestly. I want your honest, like, fully transparent.
Whoa.
Did your Cade Cunningham vote have anything to do with your Coach of the Year award vote, or your 6th Man of the Year award?
In the sense that I'm crediting Cade more than JB Bickerstaff.
Okay.
Yes. Because I have JB in my top 3, and I think a lot of people are going to have him in their top 3. I just feel like
Ooh, that needs to get
deserves a lot of the credit, so does the front office.
in the fairway. Darn
My
it.
assessment of the team, I think Cade deserves.
This is an eagle-able hole.
But there'll be a lot of disagreement there with most improved. I can't wait to see how this vote shakes out. I think we know some of the results. We know in all likelihood because of the spoilers.
Dude, I had a dope eagle camp. It was sick.
Straw poll, big spoilers. That SGA probably wins MVP. But other than that, this could be really contested.
I'm gonna make it a highlight. You'll see it later.
I think Rookie of the Year will be Castle and Rookie of the Year though, though. But other than that, I don't know.
That a babe?
I don't know. Like, there could be a lot of surprises, Tom. I can't wait.
I submitted yesterday for Yahoo. I submitted what I think will happen in the ballot, so I
Look at
think
this.
I'm going to remember this correctly.
That balance kind of high. Okay, look at this. Look at
Look
this. Look at this. Yeah, you saw the dunk.
Defensive Player of the Year. My prediction is going to be
He was sick.
that 6th Man of the Year goes to Pritchard. Coach of the Year goes
That was pretty
to
dope.
Atkinson. 6th Man, most improved is going to go to Dyson Daniels. And missing here. I think I got them all.
Oh boy, that is too much hook, fam.
I think Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, I think that's
So that's my
Wow.
prediction of how it will go. But as you saw on the ballot in the past hour of this pod, I have some controversial opinions on this, but I do think that the one that I'm most looking forward to seeing and how it all shakes out is Defensive Player of the Year.
Look at this.
That one,
Another good shot.
man,
Come
that
on,
was just-
baby.
I think Evan Mobley,
Wow.
Mason Daniels,
Okay, we got a hot round. We might just call it a night after this one. We finally got a hot round going here.
is because they don't have a platform like Draymond Green on his podcast. That's my answer.
Tom, thank you for joining me today, man. Appreciate it.
You got it, Kev.
Get down.
And thank you to Mike, Emmy, and everybody else on that document that Tom was not on for producing today's episode. Thank you all very much. Thank you for listening as well. We'll be back again next week. We have 3 shows. We're doing a Monday show, Wednesday show, and a Friday show because it's play-in week. It's playoff preview week. So
Missed it to the right.
be sure to
It's not gonna kill me though.
on the audio feeds if you're
Oh, it's gonna work out really nicely.
Keep tabs on Yahoo's YouTube page.
Oh, if I hadn't missed it to the right though.
Have a good weekend.
Yes. Finally got the dope round. Doing it, baby.
Hey everyone, Ariel Maloney here. I wanted to take a minute to tell you all how you can be using TurboTax to file your taxes this tax season. Their done-for-you tax prep solutions make filing taxes easier than ever.
Yeah, I just figured out on this one the long or the hard driver doesn't really do you any favors.
And get your taxes done for you, so you can
Oh,
have
I got kind of an awkward shot here.
that you love doing, like listening to interviews, discussions, and debates 5 days a week across the crown. And
Just a little to the right.
TurboTax has you covered. So make
Pretty
sure you
good shot,
follow
though.
April 15th with our friends.
Okay, okay. Oh, how's that not on the green? Let's try this. It's been a bit of a disaster, but let's just do it. Oh my god. Oh my god, almost. Oh, that would have been sick. The bird, though. Alright, best round in a while here if we could just close out strong. Probably going to be a little short. Let's get crazy with the cheese whiz. We're getting a little bit better at that. 6 or just go 6 iron, probably would have made it. Alright, I do not like this hole. I do not like green eggs and ham. That's a good drive. Gonna be on the green at least. Tough putt alert, but nothing we can't handle. This looks really tough, actually. Dude, that's what I'm talking about. That's some big time NES Open golf. We gotta just end it right there. Even though I wanted to simulate the tournament, gotta keep the good vibes as we go to slumber so we can dominate. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That was a terrific round. All right. Very good, very good. All right, Camp, good luck the rest of the way. I'm going to bed. See you in the morning.